Welcome, everyone. This is World on Fire with the Kingzzor Report. I am Kingzzor Sr.
And I am Kingzzor Jr.
Today, we're going to be discussing Israel and Lebanon. War seems imminent. There was another terrorist attack this morning in the Golan Heights. Hezbollah launched a rocket, killing many children. Right now, currently, there are airstrikes happening all over Lebanon. Is this a precursor to a full-scale war and a full-scale invasion? Lots to cover here, so we're going to get straight into the news. Junior?
Yep. So this attack that reportedly happened this morning, and let me reiterate, this terrorist attack that happened this morning is quite a significant escalation. We've been seeing a tit for tat escalation with Hezbollah and Israel for quite some time now. But what makes this attack significant is that a rocket made it past the Iron Dome system and actually hit a civilian target, killing children in Israel. That's what. Back to you, Kingzor.
Yes, and what is Israel's response? Now, Netanyahu was in the U.S. when this took place this morning. He is now on his way back to Israel, and several of his staff was at the Paris Olympics. So they are also on their way back to Israel. So what I'm expecting here to see is once Netanyahu does land and have that meeting with his war cabinet, does that mean that this is going to be full scale war? Now, Iran has stated that if there's any movements to attack Lebanon, that they are going to respond as well. This is really on a hair's trigger right now, and there is a lot of players involved in this. So I'm going to go ahead and share some of this news with you. Let me share here. Give me just a moment. So Israeli Air Force starts bombing Lebanon. There's lots of videos coming out right now, and this is what we expect to see this at the beginning if they do a ground invasion. Now, all of the troops are there, all of the armor is there. You know, they've been firing artillery all morning. Now we have airstrikes. This is what I expect to see before. I wouldn't call it an invasion of Lebanon. How ground troops entering Lebanon, Junior?
Yep, and what my father was saying earlier, yes, Netanyahu is on the plane back to Israel as we currently are speaking. As you well may know, Benjamin Netanyahu gave a speech at the U.S. Congress this week, and I truly believe that what his entire goal was for this trip to come to the U.S. was to get the U.S.'s approval, to get their green light to move into Lebanon. And I believe it was reported either yesterday or the day before that the U.S. has given Israel that green light to move into Lebanon. We're seeing all these other countries at this time telling their citizens to evacuate and leave Lebanon. That could be an indication that this thing may be ready to go hot. Back to you, Senior.
Yeah, it's looking that way. So a timeline, of course, these are very difficult to predict. Um, it's all going to depend on what Biden is. Are they green lighting Netanyahu? Are they saying, do this? I don't think so. I think that the kids is trying to hold back Israel from a major response here. Will Netanyahu listen to that? I don't know. I know that Hezbollah has been rocketing ever since the war in Gaza started. When terrorists attacked on October 7th. So this has gone on the entire time. So, but they are going to deal with Lebanon. How harsh are they going to deal with Lebanon, Junior?
I do want to branch off on the previous point that you made. I do believe that Poopy Pants was the one that delayed the invasion into Lebanon. But after all the political fallout that we're seeing in U.S. politics, I think now is the best time for them to go in to change the narrative in the mainstream media news, and get everyone interested in this war. We all know by now what their playbook is, and this is the next best option I believe they have to change the narrative. I do have some news for you here, some reports as well. This is in regards to the attack that came this morning. That the terrorists attacked the children. So this is Prime Minister of Defense of Israel Gallant. Attack on Israel came from southern Lebanon following a meeting between the head of the city or state or whoever person that is and other senior military officials. The Israeli Minister of Defense believes the rocket that hit that town originated from an area north of Sheba in southern Lebanon. They have concluded that it was an attack by Hezbollah, despite Hezbollah's insistence that they were not involved. A rocket is not going to launch itself. Obviously, Hezbollah launched that rocket. It either came from Hezbollah or the Yemen Houthis, but they are on the southern side of Israel. There is no way a rocket would travel all that way to hit that area. So I do believe that it was the Hezbollah terrorists. We do have another report on what type of rocket it was. It was a Phallic 1 rocket supplied from Iran to Hezbollah. We have seen them use these rockets in the past, but they've never been this effective. They've usually always landed in open, deserted places or never or barely hitting an abandoned house. But this is the most effective strike that we've seen so far, and it's a significant escalation. Back to you, Kingzor.
Okay, so I'm seeing there is heavy bombings right now going on by the Israeli Air Force into Lebanon. I'm seeing multiple places being hit, um, mostly in parts of southern uh, Lebanon right now, which is expected. You know, they do this every single time, but this a precursor for a larger war. I, I think right now they're, squashing Hezbollah ability to strike them again. I think we're going to see this happen, but however, Netanyahu could give that order in the air. I wouldn't think he would, but he may. He may tell Poopy Pants to go back and take his freaking nap. I don't know. But it's looking to me, with these airstrikes, that they're just trying to, stop further attacks so far. That could change real quick here, though.
Yes, and back to what I was saying earlier about the U.S. giving Netanyahu the green light. Here it is. Netanyahu has received approval from the U.S. for a military operation against Hezbollah. I do believe that this is what Israel has been waiting on to act. Um, so things are getting very tense at this moment. Like we said earlier, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is currently in the air heading towards Israel. But even if he's on that plane, he could still very well call up his military war cabinet and say, "Hey, I'm sick of this shit. It's time to go launch." Another scenario is that as soon as Benjamin Netanyahu touches down in Israel, there is a report that is saying that he could go directly to a military base in Kira, next to Tel Aviv, and he will start the war in Lebanon from that military base. As soon as he gets there, he could get in that war cabinet meeting and tell everyone to go. As soon as Netanyahu touches down, it's going to be very interesting to see where he goes and what he does. But yes, things are definitely escalating and on a hair trigger right now. Back to you, Kingzor.
Yeah, and that's what I'm seeing here too. Other places being attacked in Lebanon. So it's not just one city; it's several. This could spiral out of control. However, I'm waiting, as you said, for Yahoo to touch down and go from there. But anything can happen at this point. Um, why is this bigger than Gaza? The reason it is because this is, Iran's proxy um, in Lebanon. And everyone else is going to jump into this. All the Islamic terrorist factions, the jihadists, are going to jump in here with Hezbollah if Israel actually goes in. And Hezbollah has thousands of missiles, and they also do have air defense missiles as well. This could get out of control so quick. And then there's the sponsor of terrorism, Iran, making statements that if Israel does make a move, that they're going to respond as well. So this is on a hair trigger. We are watching this story. We will keep you informed. This is what we know right now. We are awaiting Netanyahu to touch down. We are watching these strikes currently going on. As soon as we know more, or if this does go off, we will be live reporting back to you, Junior. Any final thoughts?
Yes, so back to what we were saying earlier. Here are some more supporting stories about this possibly indicating that it could be imminent as soon as tonight. Um, Let me pull that up for you here. So Israel issues red notice to air bases after Hezbollah rocket attack. The air base and an airbase in Israel have been put on red notice. Pilots and jets of the Israeli Air Force are on standby in case of any rapid escalation of events in the coming hours. So, gee, I wonder what the rapid escalation of events would be in the incoming hours. Maybe it could be, I don't know, Israel invading Lebanon. Why are they expecting such a rapid escalation of events in the next coming hours? Um, there's another story. We are on the verge of an all out war with Hezbollah. Following the rocket attacks on northern Israel that killed 10 children and teenagers, we are approaching an all out war with Hezbollah. We will react in a disproportionate way, and we will not go into detail. Israel does not want to tell anyone what they're about to do or how far they are willing to go. My best guess is that they will start off with airstrikes, which is what we are seeing now. The airstrikes will continue to be more and more severe. And then eventually we will see tanks rolling into Lebanon. I do truly believe that that is right around the corner. The last thing that I have to show for you guys today is this report saying that the security cabinet will meet tomorrow at 4 p.m. in Kira Tel Aviv. So, like we were saying earlier, this very well, Netanyahu could get on that phone right now and say, okay, I'm on my way home, go in now. That's most likely not likely. But like what we were saying earlier, as soon as he touches down in Lebanon, it looks like there's been enough reports to confirm that the very first thing he's going to do is to go to a base in Tel Aviv and have a meeting with his war cabinet. So these next 24 to 48 hours are going to be very crucial. Um, and we will keep you updated. If this, anything else you would like to add?
Nope, that's it for this report. We will bring you more news coverage as it happens. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Have a good night and be prepared, my friends.